Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about how to get the new Regnaw unit very quickly here in Anime Vanguards. As you guys can see, I already have Ragnar right here. And I got this earlier from a portal run. Now, when I did the portal, it was bugged, but I was thankfully restored on the Discord. So if you got bugged when you did your Ragnar portal run, then go over to Discord and follow the instructions there to get yours. So if you find this video helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to reach 50k subscribers before my birthday in February 21. So yeah, don't forget to like and sub. Alright, so now that we're here, the best method to do this, first I'll break it down into very bite-sized pieces. The first thing that you really need to understand here, or the first piece of the puzzle that you really need to understand, is that there are things that you need to avoid, like the plague. Okay, there are certain maps that you need to avoid like the plague, certain elements that you need to avoid like the plague, because if you pick this element or you pick this map, then you're gonna get cooked. So number one, you need to avoid anything that has a spider. Okay, it's not being shown right here, but anything that is a spider related map, the spider blah blah. This one right here, where is, I'm looking for one right now, spider forest. Okay, this one right here is very difficult, and the reason why it's difficult is because this raid has a mechanic where the enemies have insane amounts of regen and where you can also get stunned. And it's just impossible. Okay, I've seen a lot of people struggle with this, and it's hard. Now, you might be able to do it, but it's not efficient. Okay, and then there's also one such as tracks at the edge of the world. This was so hard that the developers had to remove it, so it is now removed. Newer portals that you're gonna get will no longer have tracks at the edge of the world. And then the other thing that you need to avoid like the plague is any element that has holy. So holy elements like this one right here is going to be impossible. As you guys can see right here, I tried this with friends more than twice and we couldn't do this. And we had like 8 monarch units. All in all, there was 4 of us and we had like 8 monarch units, and we couldn't finish it because the enemies were regenerating so quickly. There's a thing called element reactions, and some of those elements are just very hard to counter, and one of those is the holy element. So avoid it like the plague. The only way to counter this is with holy units. So if you really want to do it, then you're gonna use holy units. And then you should also avoid pretty much these champion modifiers. Avoid that one. Try to avoid anything with stun. So explosion ones should also be avoided. But if you are gonna do explosion, bring units that don't get stun, like Igris, Gojo, and Sung Jinwoo as well. Sorry, not Sung Jinwoo. Igris, Gojo, Gilgamesh, and I believe Saber also has that passive that she does not get stunned. So bring those units so that you won't get stunned by explosion. Drowsy should also probably be avoided unless you can do that. So the ones that you should really pick are shield, regen, and basically anything that's not gonna stun you. Okay, and champions, because if you pick those, it's gonna be very hard. Okay, so apart from the modifiers, there's only again 2 maps that you can really pick. Those 2 maps are either Planet Namek or Shibuya Aftermath, because Shibuya Aftermath is easy, Planet Namek is also easy, but Spider is just very hard. And again, avoid the holy element like the plague. Now, another tip that I'm gonna give you is to also use a lot of units that are event related, because you are going to get a multiplier for the portal. So I was doing this with friends for a long time, I think like 2 hours, and I believe I have a 1% chance of dropping the portal because I have a 100% skin multiplier. So let's try this one right here. Start. Okay, there's this one other guy right here, but I'm not gonna do that with him. Alright, so as you guys can see at the very bottom right here, I have secret drop chance multiplier 100%, which essentially increases the portal drop chance by 100%. And since it's 0.5%, 100% will make the drop chance for the portal essentially 1%. So this is a lot better in my opinion. That 100% chance is gonna do a lot. So make sure to bring as many event units as possible. There is a cap to the present multiplier, or to the secret drop chance multiplier. The cap is 100%, but present multiplier can go all the way to 125%. I think it can be higher than that even. But yeah, again, you have to make sure that you have this multiplier because it is gonna make it a lot easier for you. And if you follow every step that I specified in this video, then you should probably get a portal very, very quickly. Another thing that I want to mention is to do this with other people, because even though you're going to be avoiding some of these modifiers, it still can be very difficult as a solo player. It's not really something, in my opinion, that they designed for you to solo farm. So if you really want to get it faster, just head on over to Discord, the Anime Vanguard Discord, and try and ask people that are interested to do these portals with you, because again, it's not really designed for you to grind alone. And if you want to try and grind it alone, make sure that you have a lot of Monarch units, because if you don't, you are going to have a hard time. Even if you avoid all the other modifiers and all the other elements, it still can be quite difficult. Now, for units that you should bring, there are skins for Gojo, so try and get the Gojo Christmas skin and then bring Gojo. There are also skins for Songjin Woo, Vegeta, so if you can get those skins, you can also bring them. But in my opinion, Gojo with this Christmas skin is pretty good. Emmy for the stuns is also pretty good, so I would bring Emmy. I would bring just one farm unit, because again, I want to maximize my multipliers. So I'll probably just bring one farm unit, which is Takaroda. In my case, I'm gonna be bringing Takaroda. I'm gonna max him out. And then in some cases, if I have a shield, I will bring a Toji. I will replace one of these units with Toji. Then if I'm doing an explosion modifier, I'm gonna be bringing units that are immune to stun, like Gilgamesh, Gojo, Igris, and Saber. But then if it's just revitalize, I'm gonna be bringing a lot of stun units and maybe some bleed units as well. It's all about mixing and matching whatever the modifier is, because again, whatever modifier you have can change the unit composition that you have. There are some modifiers that are better with some certain unit composition, and you're just gonna have to adapt and change your unit every time you pick a different modifier. Like right here, I have, I believe, is strong enemies. So since this is a very low tier, it's only tier 1, I think I'll be fine. If this was tier 10, my enemies would have like 500k HP. Then if that's the case, I feel like I would benefit a lot from having slow units, because I could slow them down while I'm hitting them. So if I was to have shield, even with slow, it would be very hard. So I'd probably bring someone like Toji. And if I had explosion, again, I'd bring the non-stunnable units so that I could, have a fighting chance. And one last thing before I end this video, different elements have different element reactions. So if you want to find what these do, I could make a video about that if you guys want me to. But right here, as you guys can see, is where the wiki elements is. Right here is the elemental reactions on the fan wiki. Now, again, I'll show this to you. So for example, with fire, so fire and water will prevent this unit from applying burn for 8 seconds. Fire and nature, AoE affects that burn enemies for 10% of the damage dealt. Fire and spark, every fire attack on this enemy stuns unit in a small radius for 4 seconds. So again, as you guys can see, there are some certain units or certain elements that can react with certain elements that can actually make things harder. So you also have to keep this in mind at the back of your head and try to play around it. And this is one of the reasons why I always recommend to bring Gojo, because Gojo is like your saving bet, because he can not get stunned no matter what happens, and he also has good damage. So if you're gonna be doing this, play with people that has Gojo Monarch, because it's gonna be much easier. So yeah, I think I pretty much mentioned everything that you guys need to know. If you want me to make a video about elemental reactions, which is the last big detail that might make it easier on you, then just comment that down below. But even if I were you, all I do is just pick Namek and Shibuya, avoid Holy Element, and try to bring people that has Gojo Monarch, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace out, everybody.